Alright, everyone, MrBeast just dropped a video, so we're gonna react to it. I was gonna watch this on stream, but I figured I might as well watch it with you guys. Let's check out the video. MrBeast almost died, is it was called.
Today, we're talking about MrBeast almost dying, but then people saying that he's lying about it. The investigative probe into what went wrong with the Titanic sub implosion. We try to make sense.
Wait, they're saying he lied about it? What? No, man.
Of the extreme chaos we saw in Russia over the weekend that seems to make no sense. We take a look at the disturbing controversy and allegations around Miranda Sings. We're going to talk about all that.
Who's Miranda Sings? Is she like a YouTuber?
And maybe more on today's brand new Phillip DeFranco show, your daily dive into the news. Also, I feel like I need to explain. The reason I say maybe more is I feel incredibly ill today. Some of you know on Friday I tested positive for strep throat.
Oh, snap. He had to go. He wasn't able to go on VidCon.
House got it. Had to cancel my VidCon panel. Started antibiotics. Proceeded to have like kind of the worst weekend I've had in a while. Last night
I never had strep throat. Has anybody had strep throat? That sounds terrible, bro.
I got my voice back. My energy started coming back. And this morning, I don't know where my energy went. I'm operating on 10%. If I could, I'd have the team put me on fucking puppet strings. But
dude, that's how it was for me when I was streaming last night, man. I was super tired. And then the stream before that was as well, but I still got a stream out that day. But I couldn't do it 2 days in a row.
I'm gonna try my best for you. Fake that on-screen energy, and let's just jump into it. Starting with, had one thing been different, MrBeast could have died last week. Though at the same time, you're seeing a lot of people call bullshit, so let me explain. Right, last week, we talked about the OceanGate Titanic submersible that imploded. And yesterday, MrBeast tweeted, I was invited earlier this month to ride the Titanic submarine, but I said no. Kind of scary that I could have been on it. With him
87 million views on his tweet, man. What a freaking huge freaking content creator, man. 87 million people. That's a good amount of the population, not gonna lie.
Catching a screenshot of a text he got reading, also, I'm going to the Titanic in a submarine late this month. The team would be stoked to have you along. I'm sure you're also welcome to join. Right, immediately you had so many people going, oh my god, I'm so glad you didn't go. But then there were also these monster...
Was there Japanese text? Oh, it must make... Does that say MrBeast in like a Japanese?
Waves accusing Jimmy of lying. With people saying, why does the text look like that? It looks like he sent it. And while a number of those accusations blew up in their own Twitter thread...
They're saying it looks like he sent it, bro, man. How come every time he posts, he's always getting backlash no matter what now, man? Gosh.
And on Reddit, you had MrBeast responding to an account that asked, wait, why is the text receipt blue? Why are you making this up? Which he said, my friend sent me the screenshot of when he invited me. Didn't think to scroll up and screenshot our old text myself. And even that person then responding, makes sense. Though that narrative has still blown up elsewhere. Though also, with this news, MrBeast is just one of multiple people who maybe lucked out of a tragedy. Because you had British actor and filmmaker Ross Kemp saying he also turned down an invitation to board the sub due to safety concerns. And one attorney...
Yeah, I'm good on going on subs like that. I'm scared of flying. I'm scared of going on freaking planes, man. I'm giga good.
An ocean explorer saying he was supposed to be on the dive, but I had to cancel to attend another urgent client matter. As well as the mother of the 19-year-old who died on the sub saying she was initially supposed to go, but let her son go instead because he really wanted to. So then you also had his aunt saying that he was actually terrified and hesitant.
Would you go on a submarine trip? I would not.
Before the trip, so make of that what you will. But also with this situation, all of that is happening parallel to US, Canadian, British, and French authorities opening a joint probe into this whole incident, with them looking to find out exactly what went wrong, how to prevent it in the future, and whether any criminality was involved. And so we're already seeing officials collect voice recordings and other data from the surface.
Never? Yeah, me either.
So them also moving to recover the sub's fragments and interview the witnesses. So I will say, following the news of the implosion, we have seen some people be very outspoken, like James Cameron. Right, in addition to being a director, he's actually a deep sea explorer. He's visited the Titanic's wreckage himself
the huge producer, James Cameron. Okay.
Dozens of times. And he was saying that OceanGate cut corners in building the submersible, saying it didn't get certified because
it's called OceanGate now.
They knew they wouldn't pass, saying he was very suspect of the technology that they were using, and that OceanGate shouldn't have been doing what it was doing, saying the sub's design was a horrible idea based on a fundamental flaw. With that, you had OceanGate co-founder Guillermo Solin responding, saying Cameron himself has pushed the limits of technology and operations in pursuit of his expedition, so it kind of comes with the territory, and I kind of again wish he would hold off judgment and just see exactly what the data comes back.
What's up, why so?
And noting Jim's obviously a very experienced ocean explorer and also well-regarded, but as he knows, and we all know, working underwater in these conditions is a very risky operation. And then...
Hope you guys are liking the React content, man. Yeah, we gotta get the sub count out, man. We lost 30 of you guys. Hopefully it rebounds soon.
What the actual hell just happened in Russia over the weekend? Because none of it makes sense. Or at least not the way that it played out. Because there was an attempted something. It was a coup or not a coup. It just rhymed with a coup. In Russia, after tensions between the Wagner mercenary group and the Russian military came to a head. Because for a long time now, the Wagner leadership has complained that the Russian Ministry of Defense has been screwing them by not giving them ammo or supplies. And there have been 2 sporadic reports of shooting between the 2 groups. But then things really heated up when a few weeks ago it was announced that
Usually I skip this part, man.
Wagner soldiers would need to sign contracts directly with the Ministry of Defense, which led Prigozhin, Wagner's leader, to believe that they were trying to absorb his private army. And then late last week, there were reports that Wagner was hit by Russian rockets and artillery, which set off a massive chain of events. Because shortly after that, Wagner was rolling into Russia itself, and Russia really couldn't do much about it. Although U.S. intelligence claimed that there were actually clear signs that Wagner was amassing at the border for a bit now, which if true, would...
But yeah, apparently MrBeast got invited to on the freaking submarine that actually ended up being the one that, like, where all this stuff happened, bro. That's very scary.
Indicate that it was a planned event and not as spontaneous as it might have seemed. But either way, within just a few hours, Wagner had taken over Rostov without a fight. And understand, Rostov isn't just a major city. It is home to the Russian military Southern Command and running the war in Ukraine. This would be like if Blackwater was based in Mexico and they came over the border to take over San Diego and its naval marine bases without a fight. And everything continued to move so fast because shortly after
Guys,
that, we had reports
I know,
Wagner
right? What the flip? That's all I put at the start. I don't know what the rest of the stories are. And then he has a sponsor.
Was booking it to Moscow, leading many to wonder, is Prigozhin attempting a coup? Though Wagner's chief officially claimed that it was to get rid of Sergei Shoigu and other leaders of the Russian military that he's long been critical of, with him being very careful to constantly say this was a march for justice for his troops killed by the Ministry of Defense, and that he was going to shake up the military leadership. But most importantly, him never personally saying he was
Okay, we're gonna just skip through this part, because I don't know what the flip he's talking about. But apparently there's a fallout about Wagner's rebellion in Russia. Let's go to this next part.
And keep in mind, with this, there is a lot going on. I'm trying to condense and make this consumable, so I'm going to be linking to sources down below, not only with like,
Dang serious, bro? Oh my gosh.
Media pieces, but also
who's Colleen Ballinger, guys?
Online videos. I think H3 Podcast did a great video on them. But we're talking about this because accusations online have been mounting for weeks, coming from every corner of the internet, and it seems like it's hit a boiling point. Right among the several pieces that have now
yeah, he talks about politics a lot in this video, and I don't want to.
Been published. You had Rolling Stone publishing a massive one, so we're going to talk about that, and then some of the other stuff has been coming from social media. And the gist of this is that Colleen's being accused of bullying, abusing, and manipulating her fans, most of whom were underage via a pattern of inappropriate behavior. And if this sounds familiar, it's because this is not the first time that she's dealt with these allegations, right? Back in 2020, Adam McIntyre made a video accusing
she's bullying her fans.
Colleen of toxic and inappropriate actions, and he's actually at the center of this latest round as well. With Adam posting several videos over the last couple of weeks outlining Colleen's indiscretions, saying that Colleen had a group chat with roughly 24 fans, most of whom were young teenagers, and in that chat, she would ask inappropriate questions. With Rolling Stone reviewing some of those messages, which included questions about sex and if they had lost their virginity. And on Twitter, you can see even more examples of this, with Adam posting a video Colleen allegedly sent of her inserting a tampon in her mouth and then asking her fans to send a video of them doing the same thing. With Adam saying she would talk
What the flip?
To him about her sex life, as well as Trisha Paytas's nudes, all while she was 30 and he was 14, 15. And in his videos, Adam said that Colleen would just generally overshare about her personal life and then make Adam get involved, saying that he felt that she used him.
This is what she used me for. She would love bomb me, make me feel like I had a friend, pretend to care about me, and I would just have to do all of her dirty work for her.
With all this, you had tons and tons of people speaking out against her, some saying Colleen would bully and mock her biggest fans behind their backs, Adam backing this up, saying she would do this with him.
And this was a common theme where we would find someone in the fandom that was doing something bizarre, and it would become an inside joke where we'd make fun of them.
On top of that, there were also claims about how she would turn her fans into employees only to pay them very little and exploit
$120 per day, $12 a work days. That's a pretty good amount, though.
their labor. With one person writing that people in her
$120 a day, bro. That'd be giga cool.
circle made working on her shows a living hell. And apparently that toxicity extended from behind the scenes to on.
Like, you know how many other streamers actually make less than $120 a day? I'd say like 90% of them, bro. It's
stage, as you had people resurfacing old clips where she repeatedly crossed the line during Miranda live shows, with people also describing the bit, saying she brought minors on stage, exploited them. In one case, she had a child reach into her pants to grab cheese balls. There was also another one that got a ton of attention where she had a teenage fan come on stage to do a bit about yoga, and there she stretched the fan's legs open in front of everyone, with a person actually also making a TikTok about how exploited she felt by all that, saying she felt incredibly exposed on stage, worried about what people could see of her since her outfit didn't have full coverage of her body, so she felt essentially naked on stage, sexually violated because she felt her body had been exploited for entertainment. entertainment. And allegations of inappropriate behavior extending past
Dang, Colleen Ballinger, dude. What the flip?
Colleen and over to members of her team, with one fan telling Rolling Stone that Colleen's friend Corey mocked their weight at a meet and greet, with Colleen's brother Trent also being accused of complimenting a fan's looks, saying things like, "You would look good pregnant if you ever want children one day," as well as allegedly saying, "Anything we talk about stays between you and I." And so with all that, you had Sasha Judd, an expert on fandom, telling Rolling Stone that these allegations shed light on how much emotional power stars can have, especially within their insulated fandom.
Anyone know who Colleen Ballinger is?
Now, even if nothing is
She kind of reminds me of something, but I don't know exactly what.
technically illegal, it can still harm a young fan. Whenever there's an opportunity to actually be in contact with the object of your fandom, that's just sort of ripe for a really unbalanced power dynamic. Because the fan is nobody to the famous person, and the famous person is absolutely everybody to the fan. And that can produce some pretty giant red flags. And while speaking to Rolling Stone, Adam echoed that issue.
I don't think that way.
As a young fan, he was not looking for red flags. He was too thrilled to just have Colleen's attention. And adding, "I was looking at it like this golden opportunity of trust. And I, in the moment, really didn't care if it was morally right or wrong because I was just grateful that she was talking to me and not anyone else." And as all of this has been coming out, Colleen has been losing subscribers and sponsorships, with ZocDoc telling Rolling Stone it would no longer run ads on her podcast. People also waiting for more creators to chime in, Trisha Paytas in particular. And that because Colleen actually hosts a podcast with Trisha, and one person alleged that Colleen used to host viewing parties to body shame and make fun of Trisha's OnlyFans content. But also with all of this, it does appear that Colleen still does have fans on her side. In fact, some relentlessly so, because Adam said that he's actually been harassed by her fans to the point where he's actually had to file police reports over the threats of violence, doxing, and swatting that he's been receiving. And Adam telling Rolling Stone that this harassment has been soul destroying. And so with all these allegations, you've had tons of responses with people saying things like, "Don't get it twisted, the way that Colleen Ballinger treated her fans is so obscenely inappropriate and absolutely not the norm for any public figure, especially one with an audience of children. If this were a traditional child's entertainer, it would be not."
I think she's like a YouTuber. I don't understand exactly.
Nonstop headline news. Can you imagine if an adult Disney Channel star was in group chats with underage fans?
Oh, she was a Disney Channel star. Okay.
Using them for free labor, telling them graphic details of their sex life, publicly posting sexually charged content targeted at kids, then going on tour and making kids mimic explicit acts. Now, for her part, Colleen didn't respond to the Rolling Stones' request for comment there. She also didn't respond to our request for comment, and so for now, we'll have to wait to see what else comes from this. She hasn't posted to YouTube since it started blowing up, though she did perform on the 23rd, and so I'll leave this with two final things. One, with all this, I'd love to know your thoughts in those comments down below, and two, just again, this is me trying to make a very big situation consumable, so I'm going to link to sources down below that take deeper dives. And that is where today's dive into the news is going to end. I am going to zombie walk to bed and...
Alright guys, that's a video. See you guys next one. Didn't want to react to the full one on this one.